Merry Christmas Eve day. Got my makeup done today. Woo! And hair, even, sort of. So I'm going to be making some stuff before my family Zoom call. I got my one of my little new aprons. Oh, so cute. I am going to, and my Christmas shirt too. I'm going to be making chicken pot pie, but with a puff pastry. Now, we're probably not actually going to do the puff pastry part. Let me flip this around. Right now, we're going to do... That's my cabinet. That was exciting. We're going to do, get this out of the way, the filling. That's what I'm making right now is the filling. So let me get this out of the way. So I am melting some butter over here. So I'm melting, it is not melting. Is the burner? Oh, there we go. It wasn't on right now. I'm melting the butter. That's a third a cup of butter. So I am going to have... I'm trying to get my measuring cup out of here is what I'm doing. Get this measuring cup right here. So I'm going to do, I'm doubling this filling because it's going to be a bigger one. So I will need a cup of carrots. So I already have my carrots sliced because I'm actually going to also be making cream carrots. So I'm going to take, I did this yesterday, all peeled and sliced all my carrots. So I'm going to take 1 cup of them for the chicken pot pie. Let me see how we're doing here. A little bit more for a cup. Now you can, with this chicken pot pie, rather than do what I'm doing, which is doing all these vegetables separate, you can get a bag of frozen mixed vegetables and just use that. And I have done that a lot. Very simple, very quick, and very easy. Go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to do that. Because I like this a little better, and so I want to do it this way. So what I'm going to do with these vegetables is I need to kind of pre-cook them. I'm going to, you know what, I am going to do it this way. I'm not going to use the other pan. I'm going to cook them in the butter. I totally forget I have done it this way before. Okay, so I'm going to saute them in that third cup of butter until they're crisp, tender. That's what you're going to do. So there's a cup of carrots. I'm going to do a cup of celery. Now you can use whatever vegetable you want. This is what it calls for, and this is what I do actually like in it. My little cutting board here. Now, I bought this celery that's kind of already chopped just because I wanted it to be a little faster and easier. It's already, cleaned and chopped, and you just have to kind of cut the ends off and go. So here's my celery. So I need a cup of celery. You just chop that into, bite-sized pieces. That will... I don't know how much of that's going to take. Let's do more than one at a time, shall we? That's going to take me all day. Now, I will have to end a few minutes before 2 because it's going to be time for a family Zoom call. We're having a family Zoom with the aunts and uncles and cousins because it is, well, that's what we're doing right now. Safer. My aunts and uncles are in their 70s and 80s, and we want everybody to be safe. We don't want anybody getting sick over Christmas or ever. Okay. Uh-oh, that one escaped. Get back there. If you don't like celery, just pick something else. Like I say, you could use the frozen mixed vegetables. I do that a lot. But this is a little more work, but it's really my favorite. That's my favorite stuff. Okay, so that right there is about a cup of celery. So we got that. Oops. Dropping the little ends on the ground. All right, let's see what else we need. I'm going to need a cup of potato. So I'm going to peel potatoes. This is why I like this. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. There you go. That's why I like this recipe, because it has a potato in it. And with the heartier pot pie with the potato in it. That's why I like the potato. And you can totally skip the potato, but it really is good with the potato in it. You can also use the frozen mixed vegetables and just add to that with something, whatever you want to. So really, just use whatever vegetables you want. You could put broccoli in this. I usually don't, but you could. Now we got darkness on our potato here, so let's cut that off. Okay, so now I cut the potato. Let me wash it too. I cut the potato kind of small because I am going to just saute this in butter, and I want the potato to be done. So I want little pieces, like, you know, an inch square or something. I want fairly little pieces that are easily going to saute and be done sauteed in butter. Not real thick. And my butter is making a little noise over here. Let's turn that off for a minute because I don't want burned butter, and I'm not there with this yet. But we'll be there in a minute. That's going to be too skinny, but oh well. It will be fine. Better to be too small than not small enough, really. Let's see where we're at here. So we need a cup of potato. I don't know if that will be one. This is a pretty big potato. That'll be one whole potato or a couple. Let's see where we're at. Come on now. Quit moving. Hope you are having a good day today. Are you cooking today? Are you eating with your family today or just tomorrow? Today is our actual Christmas. It's when we open everything. We open all the presents. We do absolutely everything. Hi. How you doing? Cooking. All right, that was one potato. That's up to 3 cups right there. So that really was enough. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my sauteing butter over here. The carrots, the celery, and the potato, but that's not all. I'm not done, actually. But I'm going to get that started. Let me get and stir this. I am going to turn it up because those carrots are cold and they will chill that butter. So I turn it up a little bit. So that was one big potato, or you could do a couple of small potatoes. Then you're going to need, let me see how much of a room I have here. You need half a cup of onion, which these onions are little, and that's probably going to be like one whole onion of these kind of onions. So I'm going to peel this onion. These were little onions that somebody at work brought these in. These were free onions, that's what I'm telling you. They were free. Somebody got them from a farmer's market or something, a local somewhere, and they brought them in, and they actually brought them to this one woman. She's a pastor's wife, and her husband, you know, because they're pastors, people bring them stuff, you know. They get all kind of nice stuff, and so they brought her all this produce, and she's like, it's just she and her husband together. And she's like, well, we cannot eat all this. It'd go bad before they could eat it all. So she brought it in and shared it with us at work, which is so nice. So I have all these little onions now. And they're a little stronger than the Vidalia onions. So they're pretty pungent as far as the fumes. But they're good little onions. You just got to make sure they don't make you cry. I usually can manage the Vidalia ones, but these are stronger. So you're going to cut it however you like to cut it, into chunks. Big, little. You could leave the onion out. I love onion though, because cooked onion, because it is it gives so much flavor. So I'm not going to make it too teeny tiny. And I'm going to add that into the butter as well. these little pieces off. Get this whole little onion. Oh, my lid over there just went thump. Don't know why. It just moved. Okay. There we go. So there's the onion. Let's say that's about half a cup of onion. So we're going to put that in. Still need to turn this up. It's gotten pretty slow over here. Let me stir this in. Oh, we're doing pretty well though. So you want to make sure your carrots and your potatoes particularly get kind of softer. And I've already got my chicken cooked and shredded. It's sitting over there waiting. I baked it earlier. You can cook the chicken however you want. You can even use a rotisserie chicken. Any kind of cooked chicken. I use chicken, well those are chicken tenderloins or chicken breast. I like the white meat chicken, but you use whatever chicken you like. You can use some of both. Light and dark if you want. Then there's one more thing I put in here, and it's frozen peas, and I need a half a cup of those too. So let me open my frozen peas. Here's my half a cup. I'm going to get half a cup. I'm actually going to do this over my pot here. Now these are real cold because they're frozen. So this is going to knock down the... Oops, that's too many. Going to knock down the temperature of this butter, but I got it up pretty high right now to counteract the freezing peas. All right, let's stir. All right, so let me take you over here. Here are my vegetables. Ooh, look at that. So that's going to be in my chicken pot pie. Here is my chicken ready to go. So we just have to saute them until they're kind of tender. So we're going to let that sit there and do that. Oh, look, there's a pea that escaped. All right, let me move this whole thing over here. There you go. So I'm going to turn it up even just a little more because I want this to be sizzling, but not burning the butter. Then, and a lot of people that make chicken pot pie use like the cream of whatever soup, and it's so much better homemade and so easy. So easy. All you need is flour and milk and chicken broth, and you have that, and it's homemade. So we're going to do, let's see, what time is it? Oh, 1:30. Okay, we're good. Now, to this I add flavor. So I am going to add some basil. Now we're sizzling. I am going to add these spices. Let me turn that back down. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of dried basil. Now you can do it without the spices, but they're really, really good. Let me find my half a teaspoon. Here it is. Half a teaspoon of dried basil. Trying to get it open. There you go. Don't want this to stick, so I'm turning it down a little. There you go. Then we're going to have half a teaspoon of dried thyme. See where that is? There it is. I know I've got it over here. Okay. So that's thyme. Half a teaspoon of that. You're going to have a half a teaspoon of rosemary. Now this tells you to do crushed rosemary. So here's what I do. Gets the flavor out. Plus rosemary, oh, I don't know what the thing is. I have a little mortar and pestle somewhere. Oh, it's up here. I don't see it. Where are they? I'm spilling my water. but normally I crush it. Let me make sure it's not over here. Oh, everything just falling out of my cabinets. All right, I don't know where it is. So this is actually kind of chopped up rosemary. Oh, here it is. Oh, good. Add it out. So this is one of these little things. So I'm going to take the rosemary, half a teaspoon of rosemary. This is already like kind of chopped, but you put it in here, and then you take this little thing and you smash it around. That gets the flavor out of this one, but the rosemary's kind of like little sticks, and if you don't smash it up, it can be tough. So I smash it around. You grind it around. If you have a grinder too, you can use that. Some people have like a coffee grinder. Just don't use the one that you use coffee in, or it'll taste like coffee. But some people use a coffee grinder exclusively for spices. But you can also use this. There you go. But the rosemary, it's better if you smash it up. And, oh, rosemary smells so good. Okay, these are starting to really get tender now. This is what I want. This is what I want. Oh, it's getting to be perfect. And, look, there's an onion sticking on there. Get off of there. We're not done. We're going to have a half a teaspoon. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, that's all of the spices. So I'm going to have a half a teaspoon of black pepper. I think you can put some spicy pepper in there too if you want. Like if you wanted some cayenne pepper, some red pepper. Alright, that's about half of it. This, my pepper's empty here, so I'm just dumping it in. There we go. Stir that around. And then a couple of teaspoons of salt. Now it says a teaspoon and a half, and I don't ever find that enough. It's like always needs salt. So I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. I don't know where my teaspoon thing is. So we're going to use the half a teaspoon and just do it 4 times. Okay, here we go. My salt has been getting real clumpy. It's real damp here right now. So I put some extra rice in here to try to absorb that. So there's 1, but I just did it. So 2, it's just damp. 3, this is what happens in Southwest Florida. Your salt gets wet, even though it's indoors. You put in a bunch of rice, but my rice, I think my rice was spent. So I put some fresh in. But it hasn't had time to work yet because I just did it. Okay, so there's the salt. Now these are kind of tender now, so they're ready for the next step. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a half a cup of flour to these vegetables. And it already has the butter because they've been sauteing in the butter. So the butter's already in there, so we're going to do, that's a 1/4 cup. And then a half a cup. Okay, so there's the flour. This is going to thicken it up. So you're going to stir it around, and it's going to look real lumpy and weird, but that's okay. You got it. This is like makeup. You got to wait till we're done. Wait till the end. Okay, so I'm going to stir it around for a minute and kind of let the flour brown for a second, kind of let it heat. Then you're going to add to this, oops, something just escaped, get in there. You're going to add a 1.5 cups of milk and a 1.5 cups of chicken stock. You can use broth or stock. I always like to get the stock because I think it has more flavor. Alright, so then I'm going to get my milk. Now I went ahead and heated up my milk a little bit in the microwave, wait for a couple minutes, so it's not ice cold, so this won't take so long. So there's my 1.5 cups of milk. You can put it cold from the refrigerator, it'll just take you longer. But that's a 1.5 cups of warm milk. Then we're going to have a 1.5 cups of this chicken stock. And there we have our filling. Then we just got to bring that to a boil. And it's done. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into a baking dish, the one that I have over there. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see, let's move that. It's a glass 9 by 13 baking dish. I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to top it with puff pastry. Now, every time I've ever made this before, I have made it with a pie crust, just a regular pie crust. So you put it in a pie crust and then cover it with another pie crust. But today I wanted to do puff pastry because I've never done it, and I've had chicken pot pie with puff pastry before, and it's really good. It's really light. It's not as heavy as pie crust. So I'm not actually going to bake this right now. I'm just getting it ready. So then I'm going, because it's a little early, because we're not going to get together till 4 o'clock. So I'm going to put this in the oven at about 2:30 or so. And then, so what you do, you buy the puff pastry sheets in the frozen section of the grocery store. So they're already ready, and then you've got to thaw it about 40 minutes, which I'm going to do here in about 10 minutes. I'm going to set this out to thaw. Then you're just going to lay it on top. Now, you might have to roll it out a little bit to get it to fit the pan. So you can get your rolling pin and roll it so it's a little thinner, but you're going to just lay it on top of your, you're going to lay it on top of this filling. So you can put the filling in the pan. Then actually what you're going to do, though, is it only takes 15 minutes to bake that pastry. And the recipe for this, now this is actually cooked, but the recipe for the chicken pot pie in the pie crust tells you to bake it half an hour. So I am probably going to put this in the oven by itself for 15 minutes, probably covered with foil, and then I'm going to take off the foil, put on the puff pastry, and bake it for 15 more minutes, and you bake it at 400 degrees. And this is bubbling, so I'm going to turn off the heat. This is done. There is your, oh, and then you're going to put in the chicken. So once it gets to where it's bubbling, you're going to add your chicken. So this is the equivalent of 2 chicken breasts shredded and pre-cooked. So I'm just going to put that in and stir it. I baked it. You can cook it however you want, or you can get a rotisserie chicken or pre-cooked chicken in any sort that you want. You can even use dark chicken if you like that better, or mixed. So there's our chicken in it. Now you could leave the chicken out and make vegetable pot pie if you want. But if you did that, I would put more vegetables in. It can be the same ones, but I would increase the volume of the vegetables to be like another cup of vegetables to make up for the volume of chicken. And there you are, chicken pot pie filling. Look at that. That is what we're going to be eating today. It's what I'm going to be eating today. This is my contribution. Okay, so there we go. So I am going to be done for now because my family Zoom call is at 2. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready for that. And then I will put this in the oven at 2:30 and come back and cook something else. And I'll come back on live. It depends on when our family Zoom call is done. So whenever the family Zoom call is done, I'm going to come back and cook some more. But this is done for now. Now let me get my lid, because I'm just going to let that sit there until I am ready to bake it. So I hope that you enjoyed my little cooking show. It's like having your own cooking show. I hope that you enjoyed and that you like my Christmas makeup today and my little apron. Oh, I love these new little aprons I got. Look, it's like a full skirt, so cute. So I'm gonna go, and you have a very hi, Andrea. Is your name Andrea or Andrea? Is it Andrea? Yummers. Yes, I hope so. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you later, Michelle. I hope you're having a good day, and I am thinking about you, and I love you. So you are loved, and so are you, Andrea. Let me do that. There you go. Merry Christmas Eve day until about an hour. Bye. Oh, beautiful and festive. Thank you. I'm trying to look festive because we're doing all our Christmas today. Bye.